Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. So today what I wanted to do was explain to you guys how I grew my muscle, what I did from the beginning to get a nice good amount of muscle on my body and what worked for me. And so before we get into the nitty-gritty of it all and all the little things that I did, I do just want to say that obviously I say this all the time, everybody's body is different. A lot of trainers and different people have their own kind of technique, their own method, their own idea of how to go about building muscle, and there's so many different ways you can go about it, so that way you know that there's not one right way, but it is definitely what worked for me and got me to where I am at this point. Alrighty, so the very first thing is going to be your muscle split. You're going to want to split up your muscles as much as you possibly can. The more and more muscle groups you stack on each other for a certain workout, the less time you have for each muscle group, and you're having to disperse it among multiple different muscle groups, which isn't a bad thing. And yes, you can still see results this way if you're a super busy person, but if you are looking to see maximum results, maximum progression, and build the most muscle possible and do it the way I did it, I definitely made sure that I had enough time to split up my muscle groups. Now, I would normally stack certain muscles, like I would stack like biceps and triceps together, or maybe back and triceps together, but I would never go to where I'm doing just an upper body day, just a lower body day, and just doing that multiple times a week, because there was no way in an hour to 2 hour workout I was going to be able to efficiently hit my shoulders, biceps, triceps, back, any of that. That was not gonna happen, and that would definitely not give me the results and the time that I was seeing results if I did it that way, versus making sure I had enough time for all my muscle groups to have all the time and attention put on them every session. Also, splitting up your muscle groups is a great way to make sure that your muscles have time to rest, because by the time you go ahead and hit biceps and triceps, by the time you hit it again, they will be more than rested. But while you're still hitting back or hitting shoulders or chest or whatever you are doing, you're still using those muscle groups, so they're not completely being rested for too long, but just long enough to let them rehabilitate as much as they need to and be nice and fresh and ready for when you go ahead and train them again. The second thing is going to be the rep range and sets. For my working sets, I would always have 4 working sets, and I would do a 15, 12, 10, 8 rep range, starting with 15 reps. Then I would do 12 reps, then 10 reps, and then 8 reps. And as I'm decreasing in reps, I'm increasing the weight. The weight should be able to be increased every single rep range that you are going down in, but it should be challenging. The last, I'd say 1 to 3 reps should definitely be a struggle, but being able to be completed without jeopardizing the safety of your body or going around and swinging around the weight like crazy. You should be able to manage it, but it should be challenging. And as you go down in the rep ranges and you're increasing the weight, you're still able to increase the weight because you're not doing as many reps, but it's still going to be challenging because not only are your muscles exhausted from the set before with the higher reps, but also obviously as you do lower reps, you can handle more weight in general. So you just want to make sure that the beginning weight you start with 15 reps is not too light, but it's also not too heavy. You always need to keep in mind that you are going to be working up more and more 4 times. So you just want to make sure that you're not going too heavy in the beginning or too light to where when you get to the 8 reps, it's like not even that challenging. I mean, when you get to those 8 reps, that weight should be a pretty heavy weight for you, but you're able to still get it even if it takes you a little bit longer than the other sets just to work through it. You should be able to, but just make sure that you're picking the right weight. Next is going to be the types of workouts you should be doing or incorporate in what I did. So you always want to, and you'll kind of notice how I do this in all of the videos I upload, I always start off with the compound exercises. So I'll do anywhere from 1 to 2 compound exercises, and then I will do 3 to 4 accessory movements. You definitely want to stick to some type of compound movements, or if there's not really compound movements you're doing for that workout, like if I were to go in and do biceps and I'm not really doing any compound movements for biceps, I'm more so going to just pick the exercise that I feel will target my entire bicep muscle the best, that I can lift the most weight with, and I would do that first and then go ahead and do the other exercises. The reason I do this is because your compound exercises or your main core exercises for every muscle group, you're going to be able to lift the heaviest weight in. So you want to make sure that you're nice and fresh and have that strength and that energy still in you. continue to be able to lift that weight and see progress. Also with compound movements, they are extremely important for your whole entire body and physique overall, and should definitely be one of the main focuses when it comes to building muscle, building stability and balance, just anything. They should definitely stick to being a major part of your workout schedule, no matter what type of goals you're really aiming for. But as far as accessory movements, those can be interchanged in and out because there's so many different accessory movements you can do. But my suggestion is to kind of stick to the same plan for about 4 to 6 weeks, switch up the accessory movements if you would like, and kind of keep the compound movements the same, and for at least 2 to 3 months, and then maybe switch it up if you would like. I personally always keep my compound movements the same because there are only so many of them, and no matter what, they're important for your body and seeing results and seeing progress, and they help you just gain strength overall in your whole entire body. So I would suggest always keeping the same kind of idea of compound movements and then just switching up your accessory movements. So now that I got the working out part out of the way, I did just want to touch lightly on diet really quickly because I'm sure some of you guys will have some questions on that. I wasn't tracking at all, but I would say that I was in a caloric surplus. Actually, I know I was in a caloric surplus. And one of the things is that when you're trying to put on a lot of muscle mass, especially, you know, quicker than you would if you were to eat at maintenance and then just try to put lean muscle mass on over time, if you're really serious about putting on muscle, you can't be afraid to put on some fat either, because that's just a part of the process and the best way to see results as quickly as possible. Now, you don't need to put on an absurd amount of fat or excess fat. You don't need to be eating in this huge caloric surplus, but I always say start off with about 200 calories over your maintenance and then see how that is for a few weeks. And then if you feel like you're not progressing enough, or you feel a little bit too tired when you're working out and feel like your strength isn't where you want it to be and all of that, and you need a little bit more energy, then I would go ahead and kind of increase it from there and then go to 300 and then maybe 400. But starting off with around 200 is fine, and you won't even put on that much fat at all, but you will put on a little bit of fat. And my last concluding tip for this video is going to be patience. Patience is going to be your best friend, especially when it comes to building muscle. Now, luckily, if you are newer to lifting or if you've never lifted before, you will see results pretty quickly. You will see a lot of progress very quickly, but then it'll kind of dwindle out and you'll kind of go to kind of just a nice steady state, and you'll not be going up in strength as much, seeing results as much. Don't get discouraged by that. Just when your body has never lifted that much resistance, that much excess weight before, it's going to be in shock and putting in a lot more work. But once your body gets used to kind of what you're doing to it exactly, it's going to kind of steady out with the progress. But over time, every workout, every little bit of progression adds up to the final result. So do not get discouraged, but you guys do need to be patient. I've been lifting for, I want to say 4 years now, as far as lifting on a plan, how I just explained consistently. It's been about 4, maybe even 5 years now. I'm so bad with time. I feel like I just graduated high school last year and it's been like years. I know I'm probably not telling you what you want to hear, but I am a no BS kind of gal, and I'm always gonna give it to you straight and tell you that patience is your best friend. So befriend it and get used to it, because you're gonna need it if you're wanting to build a lot of muscle. So I really hope this helped you guys out. Make sure you share, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until the next one, bye guys.